Hey everyone, Nick here and welcome back to Gamerjoob. And welcome back to our Poppy Playtime character concept series. So the character we've created for today's video is known as Loud Lizzy. So we'll go into this character's backstory, gameplay mechanics and all that good stuff as well. But before we do any of that, do be sure to leave a like and subscribe to Gamerjoob as it helps out a lot and it's greatly appreciated. But alrighty, with that out of the way, let's get into the character concept for Loud Lizzy. So, as we all know in our Poppy Playtime character concept series, we've created a whole bunch of custom characters that we think would be interesting to see in the Poppy Playtime universe. Most of the time, these characters end up turning evil and try to destroy the player, and this time around won't be any different. So, as we follow our main character's journey through the Playtime Co factory, they are bound to meet another one of these crazy characters. But this toy in particular is a little different from the rest. Not only are they a toy, but they also serve another purpose. They would be a useful gadget that everyone needs in their house. And this character would be a fun and interesting twist on this household gadget. But now, without any more delay, let's introduce this new and exciting character. So this new toy character is known as Loud Lizzy. Loud Lizzy is a toy alarm clock that is modeled to look like a friendly green lizard. She has alarm bells all down her back and a digital clock at the center of her body. Lizzy would be placed on your nightstand and tell you the time, but her most important job was setting off her alarm to wake you up in the morning. There was no chance that you'd be late for school with Loud Lizzy on the job. When the alarm goes off, all the bells on her back would start to ring. They would continue to ring until her tail was clicked in. That would be the only way in which her alarm could be stopped. So the Loud Lizzy alarm clock turned out to be a great toy. Playtime Co sold a good number of these toy alarm clocks to children all over the country. But it seems this little alarm clock eventually had some strange issues. Customers were reporting that their alarm would go off at a strange time in the middle of the night. The time that was reported the most was 3:33 AM. Reports stated that Loud Lizzy's alarm wouldn't stop regardless of her tail being clicked in. Eventually, the company recalled these alarm clocks to have them inspected and repaired. But what Playtime Co really meant was that these toys were to be destroyed and discontinued. One after the other, the Loud Lizzys were being crushed and disposed of. The company thought they had destroyed all of these toys, but unknown to them, they missed one of these alarm clocks. The stray Loud Lizzy managed to escape and find somewhere safe to hide from all the workers, but she couldn't stay hidden forever, because when the clock struck 3:33 AM, her alarm went off. All throughout the factory, her alarm bells could be heard. The constant sound started to drive the workers crazy. They looked everywhere to try and find her, but she was nowhere to be found. If they were to find her, they'd surely destroy her toy body to stop the constant ringing. And with this loud alarm, Lizzy couldn't stay hidden forever. Eventually, one of the workers found Loud Lizzy. They grabbed her by the tail and took her to the hydraulic press. Soon, this constant ringing sound would be put to an end. The last Loud Lizzy would be crushed by the heavy metal press. But Lizzy couldn't let this happen. And before she met her demise, she let out a deafening screech. This sound wasn't from the bells on her back. It actually came from within her and screamed at her mouth. The noise was so deafening and intense that the worker collapsed on the spot. Finally, Lizzy was free and escaped from being destroyed. Now, as Lizzy roams around the factory, anyone who got in her way would get attacked by her deadly new voice. The more she used it, the more she started to change. Her body grew much larger and grotesque. As time went on, she looked nothing like her once friendly self. Now, if anyone gets in her way, they'll surely be destroyed with her loud, deadly voice. And hopefully the next person she meets isn't the player, but something tells me they won't be so lucky. Speaking of, we now return back to the player. They've been making their way through the factory and come across something quite strange. They see something written on a wall in front of them. It reads, "Cover your ears." What could this mean? Obviously this person is saying they should cover their ears, but why? They continue forward and see another message written on a wall. It says, wear your ear protection at 3:33 AM. These messages were getting stranger and stranger. What would happen at 3:33 AM? Well, the player didn't want to wait around and find out. So they start moving and looking for a way out of this area. But instead of finding the exit, they find something they didn't expect. It was Loud Lizzy. This disturbing reptile monster toy was standing right in front of them. The player quickly runs away before they get eaten. As they look back, the digital clock on her body says 3:27 AM. It's almost 3:33. The player has to find a set of ear protection earmuffs before the alarm goes off. If they don't protect their ears, then they'll surely be done for. So in this gameplay segment, the player needs to search around the area before the timer runs out. They would need to search all the lockers in the area before Lizzy sets off her alarm. So the player searches high and low to try and find a pair of earmuffs. And they also need to avoid Loud Lizzy, who is roaming around the halls. But after searching high and low, the player finally finds a pair of earmuffs. They place them on just as the alarm hits 3:33 AM. Lizzy lets out her deafening screech, but the player can't hear a thing. Thankfully, they just survived in the nick of time. Now they can quickly exit this area and get away safely from the monster Loud Lizzy. If the player was a second too late, then they would have been done for. But thankfully this time, luck was on their side. So I think that Loud Lizzy would be a very interesting character to add to our roster of Playtime Co toys. I think a toy alarm clock would be pretty interesting to see, and also the timer for the player to find the earmuffs would be pretty stressful as well. They would need to be careful of Loud Lizzy roaming the hallways and try not to get attacked. And the most important thing of all is they would need to escape or wear the earmuffs before 3:33, because if they weren't able to do that, then it would all be over. Alrighty everyone, well that's all we have for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting and subscribing, as it helps out a lot and it's greatly appreciated. As always, do be sure to let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of Loud Lizzy and what you'd like to see going forward. As always, I just want to thank each and every one of you for watching today's video, and I hope you enjoyed this video as well. All the views, likes, comments and shares really help out our channel, and we really appreciate the support as well. Speaking of support, we'd also like to say a very big thank you to all our Gamerjoob members. If you'd like to be a Gamerjoob member, then do be sure to click the link down below or the join button. But alrighty everyone, into our next Poppy Playtime character concept video, I'll catch you later, bye.